Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Losses Above Replacement, the greatest baseball podcast to grace your ears. I'm today's host, Mathias Kurosaki, and with me, as always, we have my amazing co-hosts, Alex Clark and Ryan Splashpots. Gentlemen, I was not here last week. I hope these two guys did a great job without me. Trust me, they did. But anyways, how are we doing on this fine Monday afternoon? I know we are fresh off a holiday weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty solid actually. I've had a really fun stretch of games here. I got to go hang out with one of the team's families for 4th of July. Had a good time. That was more cool, in my opinion. Well, not more, but it was, in my opinion. I got to something I've always wanted to do, and that is between games for the last doubleheader against the Denver Generals, I got to throw a ceremonial first pitch. And I have a ball from it too.
Did you throw a strike?
I did. I have the video even to prove
it. Yeah.
Like,
you will post that on LAR Baseball right now.
I'll tell you, no, actually, I'll even post it here on the podcast. Or give me once I'll pull it up. I have it right here.
Okay. Beautiful.
But no, like I threw a solid actual strike, and it came out pretty.
So it was better than mine, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I thought MAK didn't.
I'll turn the volume up for it, so we don't have to hear the PA, because the PA is basically just praising me. But we're like, oh, yep. So I wanted to wear the suit for the suit jacket, at least a little homage to Dave, but the pitch
just a bit outside.
No, that was a strike.
I think that nipped the corner, you know.
Okay, Mr. 1968 strike zone over here.
I appreciate that they let you throw from the mound. I did not get from the mound when I did it.
Yeah.
I
also like the Comerica Park style strip.
Yeah, true. No, I really like it too. I think that's
fun. And for our audio listeners, that was weird. Check out our Twitter to see Alex's video.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, check out the YouTube to check the video of the podcast.
Yeah, that works as well.
That is true. So yeah, I mean, it was. That looks like it was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, I got to throw out the first pitch at a game last year, and I found out about 30 seconds beforehand. But it was a lot of fun. Honestly, I got on the mound and was like, I'm going to throw the ball as hard as I can. Of course, I threw to the backstop.
Of course,
you know that.
Yeah, my main goal when I did mine was to not 50-cent it. I also
that's
didn't
a pretty
get to
legendary
throw
moment.
I did one throw beforehand, and then I was like, all right, time to go.
Okay. Obviously, George W. Bush is the best first pitch of all time.
First pitch,
Who's second?
Ichiro
or Nolan Ryan.
Because Ichiro threw that in at 92 miles an hour, perfect strike.
Kaepernick had a good one. Prime Kaepernick dotted 90.
Gronkowski was like, because I think he just spiked it.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. John McEnroe did it before, I think, a Subway Series game, and he fired a bullet. Turns out John McEnroe has a very strong left arm and throws
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. There was one San Diego that in San Diego they did like a flip and threw it. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Yep, 100%.
So yeah,
other than that, it's been a really fun week. I'm in a really good headspace right now. I'm a little sad that the season is starting to come to an end over here, and hopefully I will be in Wichita soon to call the NBC World Series for them. I hate
Splash.
Splash.
Yeah, Splash. That's a very interesting looking bag of goldfish you have there. Care to elaborate here?
Yes. So at our beloved grocery store, we sell spicy dill pickle goldfish.
I feel like I just threw up a little bit hearing that.
If you were goldfish and you had to pick one player to use as your spokesperson, one baseball player, who would you choose?
For goldfish crackers?
Yes, the snack that smiles back.
Because of that is the smile.
That's a good point.
I was going to say Francisco Lindor.
So I think that's an even better point. I could certainly see, like D Wade's been on the package. I could certainly see Francisco Lindor on a package of goldfish.
Yeah.
Also orange.
Yeah, I was about to say, that also works. You got the orange there too.
Yeah. So
there's your banter
Splash,
for the day.
I mean, Splash though. Other than that, I mean, how was your holiday weekend?
It was good. Nothing to complain about. I worked. I could not sleep through fireworks.
I don't think I could either.
Yeah, no, it's pretty difficult when people are firing them off at like 8 o'clock and you're trying to take a
Yeah.
nap at 8 o'clock.
That's fair.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have the spicy dill pickle goldfish. That's a vibe. I've been eating a lot of beets lately.
Definitely.
Beats.
I like
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Good food.
Speaking of fireworks, on 4th of July, I didn't light any off, but I got to sit in a very nice camper chair next to a fire, watching Sandlot on a large inflatable screen while fireworks are blasting around me. And
Could you play baseball under the fireworks?
I couldn't. No, there weren't. Because the only actual baseball people that were there were people that had played the previous day and needed to save their arms for the next game.
Yeah, of course.
That's tough.
So, because these are people playing at a collegiate level. We did play volleyball, though.
Now, if they were 12, they would be throwing every day.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Respect the grind, honestly.
I do.
Like
I
140
do
pitches
a
day.
I also
200 pitches in a weekend. Yes, sir. Pile it on.
Yeah. So I did not get to see fireworks on the 4th, although I did check it out on TV. As I mentioned previously, last episode because I was at my brother's wedding. The week right before that, though, the day before, thank you, there were some early 4th of July fireworks, which were pretty awesome. And yes, there were, because it was hosted at my sister-in-law's parents' place, and her nieces slept through the entire thing, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, other than that, it was a really, really fun week. I got kind of sunburned, little tan, because we had a pool where we were staying. We stayed at a Verbo home. Yeah, it was a great time out west. I haven't really been home much most of the last 3 weeks, but I'm home for the time being. And yeah, it's been a pretty solid week, although it is scorching and very humid right now. Other than that, yeah, it's going fine. But anyways, we do have some baseball news to cover. As I'm sure you are aware, next week is the Midsummer Classic in Arlington, Texas. So the All-Star Game rosters were revealed this past week. Did the starters earlier in the week on Wednesday. We did the reserves yesterday on Sunday. And guys, I just want to get your thoughts. I mean, we have 32 first-time All-Stars. Most of them are pitchers. What are your guys' general thoughts on this year's All-Star Game rosters?
I mean, there's a lot of newbies, which is always really cool to see. I love seeing it where it's not just the old guard getting to play again and again and again. Like, don't get me wrong. I love watching, the big stars. I love watching all that. But I love seeing it when the young kids are really getting to shine here. Like, I remember there was a conversation that took place on ESPN radio. I want to say this was back in, 2011, 2012, something like that. So a while ago. Say that they were worried that within 10 years, baseball was going to be dead because there were no good young stars. And the only good young star at the time was Mike Trout. And they're like, can Trout save all of baseball? And now the fact that we are 10 years more past all that, and baseball is stronger than I think it may have ever been right now, or at least within the last 30 plus years, is the strongest it's been. In the public eye. And I love seeing the young guys really get the start for this. Like, Paul Skeens made the All-Star team, and he's barely played this year. Well, I don't want to say barely played. He started late, but he's been playing amazingly well. You have a lot of good young guys. You have, especially for me, you got Logan Gilbert making his first All-Star game, which well deserved here for Logan, for Walter. So, I mean, I enjoy it. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about a little bit later here, but I love seeing that there's so many new guys getting to play.
So one guy who has been in our public persona, I will say, for a while, made the All-Star team. Former number 1 overall prospect, former Ranger, former Rocky. Jurickson Profar not only is an All-Star, not only is an All-Star starter, but is a deserving All-Star starter. And that's sometimes what gets lost in that not all All-Stars are created equal. We're going to talk about snubs in a little bit. And there are some snubs that probably should have made it over guys who made it at other positions, looking at you, Metropolitans, with several players. But regardless, Jurickson Profar in his age 31 season, All-Star, as of right now, would receive MVP, down ballot MVP votes. That's what baseball is about. I know we have the young stars that Alex was talking about. I get it. But Jurickson Profar was supposed to be the next can't miss prospect, the savior for the Rangers. And in 2024, he's going to be playing at Globe Life Field in Arlington as an all-star. That's so cool.
Yeah. I will say,
100%.
though, and this is me just wanting to say fun stuff on this. When we did our first monthly awards picks, I put Jurickson Profar in my awards, and Splash, you're like, there's no way this continues. Like, this is insane putting him here. And I'm like, look at what he's been doing.
Hold on.
He's been doing great.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was skeptical too of Profar just because
Hey, okay, listen. I called Profar the MVP on June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Max said I can't tell if Profar is legit on May 31st. On May 1st, I sent Jurickson Profar with a skull emoji. After both of you guys
I will go back into our DMs and be like, and show. It's like, I find that bit.
Yes, because both you and Mac put him in your rankings, and I hadn't done mine yet, and I hadn't. It's like I don't know. I'd missed something. He'd gone like bananas or something, and then Alex says, "Look at his stats so far." Mac, yeah, I did want to put him either. Alex, I did. LOL.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with
I was right first.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I was going to bring up Profar as like, this is a guy who he was, the best prospect in baseball, homered in his first at bat. Then he was out of baseball for a little bit, and everyone was labeling him a bust. And he got released by the Rockies last year. He got released by a team that lost 100 games, and then he comes back this year, back with San Diego after taking a minor league deal last year, late in the year, and I mean he's leading the NL on-base percentage. He's leading the majors in games played, which is, I mean, he's played basically every single day. He's drawing walks at the highest rate of his career. He's cut his strikeout rate down. He's hitting the ball well. Obviously, I'm not necessarily expecting him to have a 900 OPS all season, but the fact that he's gotten to this, this place is remarkable. And I really do tip my cap to him. By the way, shout out to the Padres. All three of their starting outfielders were named to the All-Star game, including 20-year-old Jackson Merrill, which, I mean, Merrill had a monstrous month of June to get himself into that conversation. The other guy I'm going to shout out, I'm going to go with another veteran, but Seth Lugo. I am so happy for this guy. First of all, I mean, he was a 34th round pick back.
That round doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. But with the Mets, he always wanted to be a starter, but he rarely succeeded as a starter. I remember, he was really good in 2016 down the stretch as a starter, but never really found that success again until last year. He started, 26 starts, 3.57 ERA. All right, that's fine. He didn't qualify for the ERA title. This year, he's leading the majors in wins, ERA, games started, and innings pitched, and ERA plus. Like, he's been durable this year in addition to putting up great results. And this is in his age 34 season. So, I mean, Lugo, he opted out, he chased the bag, and he got it, and he's proving why he got that money. So, big shout out to him. I'm really, really happy to see him succeed. He's averaging over 6 innings per start. And he's a guy I'm always going to root for. I mean, he was a really good Met. I think he was almost underrated. And I hope he starts the game, honestly. I know it's going to be tough. I'll ask you guys this real quick before we get into talking about snubs. Who do you think will start the All-Star game in each league? I know that the Phillies have already said Zach Wheeler will be inactive. I don't know if any other pitchers have already dropped out of it, but who do you guys think will start, or who should start?
I do want to say one thing before we go to the starters bit. That's one more player that I would like to shout out if I can. David Fry, 27-year-old, only in what is now second season, and is having an absolutely incredible season. Came out of absolutely nowhere, was not even ranked as even a top 30 prospect with his own team, and is now an all-star. So respect to David Fry on that. As for the starter in the National League, the thing with it is that it doesn't matter as much just because it is such a fan thing at this point now. It's just more of an accolade thing. Which, if that's the case, and if you want the guy that's going to get the fans going, one name, it's Paul Skeens.
Darn, I thought you were going to say Ronaldo Lopez. Darn it, man.
No, that would have popped the one fan known as Splash. But no. Paul Skeens, I think, honestly, has been so much fun to watch. Like, we were talking about All-Stars here. I think it was either last week or a week before. And talk about whether or not he should be an All-Star. And I said he absolutely should. And you know what? If it's all for fun anyway, why not give the kid who's gonna have who is right now on an absolute tear right now, give him that start. Because it's not like it has any true other meaning to it. Let him go one inning, let him pump 102 miles per hour right down the plate, and just watch him go against the very best of the business.
All right. There is a divide here. Mac, you asked, who do I think will start? I'm going to first give who I think should start. I think who should start is Tarek Skubal and Chris Sale. Who will start? It will be Paul Skeens, and it will be probably Corbin Burns. Now, I don't know who's playing on Sunday.
That's the other thing, yeah.
So, like Sale was scheduled to pitch today. He's moved back to tomorrow, so he might start again like Sunday. I believe that's how the rotation would work. But if he doesn't start Sunday, he could pitch on Tuesday.
Easily start on Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, theoretically. So that's a thing. But I do think it'll be Burns, and I think it'll be Skeens. Like that. Did they face in the
they faced in spring training?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because Holiday and Westberg and all the guys, the young birds. So I think it should be Skubal and Sale, the two lefties. I think it will be Burns and Skeens.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with Skeens. I'm not necessarily saying he's the most deserving guy, but I'm just looking at, to Alex's point about who will get the fans excited. This past weekend, when Skeens started on Friday night against the Mets, PNC Park got 37,000 fans. You know how long it's been since PNC Park has been that packed? So that's at the local level. At the national level, he's one of the biggest names in the sport right now. I think Skeens is if we're going for, viewership and, MLB, I know, is big on growing the game. If you want to grow the game, I think Skeens is the guy to start in the National League. As for the American League, I feel like it's going to end up being Skubal, actually. Again, this is pending who pitches on Sunday. If Skubal pitches on Sunday or Saturday, he probably doesn't go on Tuesday. But I think that he's really deserving. He's been arguably the best pitcher in the AL, maybe even in all of baseball. So I could see Skubal going. I could also see Lugo or Burns getting the nod too. So,
do you want me to say who I had for AL?
Sure.
Yeah. For AL, I really am kind of torn a bit between Burns and Skubal. So honestly, I think my gut though is leaning towards Burns, just because at this point, I think Burns' name gets people hyped a little bit more than Skubal's does right now. Although I think both are incredibly deserving. So I'm going to say, though, for the person that's going to do it, neither should be Logan Gilbert. Anyway, so.
So some starting updates. Burns is slated to start Wednesday.
So that would line him up for.
That would line him up to not need to start again until after the All-Star break.
Until after the break. Okay.
Then Thursday, Houck's going. And it's wild.
By the way, shout out to Tanner Houck, man.
Yeah, shout out to Tanner Houck. Skeens goes on Thursday. Also, it's sad to see Kevin Gossman's fall off. Sale's scheduled for Tuesday. Wheeler's scheduled for Tuesday, like you said, Mac.
Wheeler's already inactive, yeah.
Okay. Swerve and Irvin is tomorrow as well, Tuesday.
So if Skeens pitches Thursday, he's lined up for Tuesday then, right?
That should work.
Yeah. So.
Well, because the main thing is that you're just not pitching on Sunday, because then on Monday it doesn't matter as much, and then as long as you're not pitching on Sunday or probably Saturday, I guess. But Saturday you could probably make work.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're not pitching.
Yeah, if it's Saturday, that could be like your bullpen day.
Yeah, you're basically
And
trailing your bullpen day.
It's not like you're throwing 6 innings; you're throwing 1 inning, maybe
Yeah.
2.
Maybe 2 if you're lucky.
Well, nowadays I think almost every pitcher is just getting 1 inning in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Even the starter, you get an inning.
I just want to say one last thing on that. So, like, talking about pitchers throwing 1 inning, last year's All-Star game with Kirby coming in for 1 inning was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, purely because of one thing. And it's a graphic that the Mariners do whenever Kirby gets, like, a strike or something fun. They put Return to George's Dreamland, and it just plays the Kirby sound effects. So they now canonically, we have now played Kirby Nintendo sound effects at an All-Star game.
All-Star game, yeah.
Absolutely great. Kirby Star game.
And we have a Kirby Yates in the All-Star game this year, so it can continue. Back-to-back Kirby's.
Have, like, at one point, the two, in, like, the 6th or 7th inning or something, have George Kirby going up against Kirby Yates, like, in the different innings. Like,
okay,
that would be great.
So I will be tagging the Rangers and saying, "Hey, play any song relating to Kirby when Kirby Yates is on the mound.
Yes.
When, not if, when, because Bruce Bochy's the manager and Kirby Yates is an All-Star. Congratulations, by the way, Kirby Yates.
Also, George Kirby probably will be an All-Star with replacements.
Maybe
100% deserves
I think
they should stand on the mound simultaneously.
Please? Yes, I'm okay with this.
And
this is absolutely fine.
And one of them has the ball. You don't know which one.
They both start pitching.
Yes.
Until you finally see which one has the ball. And then by then
would that be okay? Out. If you replace, like, your left fielder with another pitcher and you put 2 players on the mound, and only one of them had the ball, but you didn't know which one, how would batting averages, like, be below 200?
No, the problem is you'd never have another pitch again because it would just be pure box the entire way through. But if it was legal, no, batting average, the minimum, like an elite year would be the Mendoza line.
Yeah, like, let's say both of them had a ball, but only one of them was allowed to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hitting would be hitting's already
it would be impossible. 100%.
Also, pitching is impossible. Please look at Rafi Devers' home run yesterday, and Marcelo Zuna's home run on Saturday. Pitching is very hard.
Pitching is very difficult sometimes. But anyways, as I alluded to earlier, it seems like every year there are some pretty big snubs, and this year there are a lot. I don't even know where to begin on this, but why don't you guys go first? Who do you guys see as some of the biggest snubs? Alex, you seem really excited to talk to us about it.
I'll begin. Yeah.
All right. It's going to be Julio Rodriguez, Dominic Canzone, Ty Fran, Jorge Blanco, Eugenio Suarez,
here we go. 3,
Edwin Diaz,
2, 1, muting Splash. There we go. Splash, love you. Unmuted. All right. No, the number one I need to talk about. It's not even George Kirby. It's Andres Munoz. How is he not an All-Star this year? Legitimately.
Yeah, I'm a little lost there.
Like, at this point, man, I know that teams need to have their reps, right? The Yankees have their reps. It isn't like they don't have anybody. And yet Clay Holmes made the All-Star team, and I have nothing against Clay Holmes. I think Clay Holmes is a good pitcher, and honestly could be deserving of it. Andres Munoz has over 1 more WAR than him as a reliever. He has, let's see here. He has an ERA of nearly half of what Clay Holmes has, 1.54 to 3.0. An ERA plus of almost double what Clay Holmes has. Right now, his ERA plus is a 2.48. Like, what more do you want? In less games, in less innings, has, 6 more strikeouts than him? A great K percentage at 30.9. What more do you want? The Mariners pitching staff has been so dang good all year, and this is one that legitimately, I have the little stat thing here, the little side-by-side here, and that is blasphemous to me, that this dude who has been putting in the work here as absolute snub, he needs to be a replacement, as does George Kirby. George Kirby has had himself a heck of a year, continuing right where Angry George left off last year.
So I have a couple thoughts. First of all, I do think this discussion will be outdated in about 2 days.
Agreed, yes.
When players like Francisco
Hopefully.
Lindor replace Mookie Betts and Brandon Nimmo replaces Fernando Tatis, and there's a slew of pitching replacements. So
not to mention Jeff McNeil being into the home run derby.
Yes,
that would be pretty funny, but no.
Would he hit a home run?
Yes.
No, 100%. He would not. I'm telling you right now.
With how many swings
he'd probably pop it up.
Do you not think that Jeff
didn't Robinson Cano? Did he have an 0 round?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
it was right after he won it in 2011.
Yeah, that's right. So shout out to Braves legend. Actually, all three of our teams legend, Robbie Cano.
Yeah, and Padres legend.
Yes, of course. So I have a couple things to point out. To me, this is sort of akin to the NFL Top 100 that the players do, that when the players vote for these guys, they're not voting Sunday at 5:29, right? They're voting way earlier than that. And sometimes they just simply do not have the data. So, example, Christian Walker went absolutely bananas at Dodger Stadium, and perhaps he was deserving anyways. But when he goes absolutely bananas the week before All-Star voting gets revealed, there's a chance that players had already submitted their ballots. There's a chance players that had already picked this player. Pete Alonso ended up making it over Christian Walker. Is Walker a better player this season? Yes. But was 100%. That true a week ago? Less true.
It was still true, but...
Yeah, and if you want to get Alonso in the home run derby, he probably should be an all-star, but that's neither here nor there. So that's an issue that your players voting for it, your selections aren't at 5:29, right? They're before that. You have to get everything prepared. You got to get ESPN graphics prepared. You got to send out the invitations to everyone, right? There's a process to it. So it's not as simple as editing an article, right? Like if we did like our midseason awards and Mookie Betts is hurt already. Let's say Ohtani gets his gambling suspension next week and he's ineligible to win the MVP, and all three of us pick him for NL MVP. We can just edit that. We can just edit it that the next second. But for all-star purposes, there's a delay, there's a lag. So I'm not as worked up as perhaps a certain Mets fan over here might be. But I do want to shout out Josh Smith of the Rangers, Willie Castro of the Twins, not for any particular position because they play all of them. Josh Smith has been tremendous as an infielder for Texas, plays a lot of third, plays a lot of short with Young and Seager in and out of the lineup. He's just been the most reliable Rangers bat the whole season, which is crazy when they have Simeon and Seager. Simeon all-star, I don't agree with that, but regardless. And Willie Castro stealing some bases, playing great defense everywhere. He's played 5 different positions at a high level. As of yesterday, at a 129 WRC plus, and he's a stud. And he plays everywhere. So it's not take out X, put in Y. It's just add a utility position. It's not replace Betts with Lindor or replace Walker and replace Alonso with Walker. It's just throw in Willie Castro, or throw in Josh Smith, throw in a National League utility piece. That I guess Luis Arias kind of fits in because he played a lot of second with Miami and a lot of first with San Diego, but that's neither here nor there. Ha-Seong Kim position, if you will.
Yeah.
Although I mean, he's a lot of shortstop this year.
So obviously, what sticks out to me are obviously Lindor and Nimmo. I mean, the thing is that these guys, I think, even with like the so-called delay, I mean, Francisco Lindor before this week was already like, top 10 in the National League in Fangraphs WAR. And as of right now, he's 5th. And National League outfielders, if we're talking about Nimmo, are not that good this year. I mean, Jackson Merrill is fine, but most years would Jackson Merrill make the All-Star game? Probably not. That's the thing, is that Nimmo, even entering this week, had better numbers than Merrill. And by Fangraphs WAR, and by most offensive metrics, he's been the second best offensive outfielder in the National League behind Profar. And Brian Reynolds is up there too. And luckily, Brian Reynolds got his due and is. And
we will point out Christian Yelich. He just doesn't qualify.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the Yelich. I know he was named as a starter. Good for him. Glad to see him back. But I
I want to
just
see him live just a little bit ago.
yeah, no, he's awesome. I saw him hit a home run on opening day. It's good to see that he's sort of back to what he used to be. Not quite MVP level, but he's good.
Yeah, but like well above average.
Yeah, exactly. My issue though is that I just don't get what more does Brandon Nimmo have to do to make the All-Star game. I mean, there've been there's 20
trade to the Seattle Mariners.
I mean, I don't think that'll work, honestly. He'd have to play half of his games at T-Mobile Park, which
he is a lefty, though. That helps.
He is a lefty, right? Yeah. But Nimmo's had 2018. He an all-star caliber numbers, didn't get named. 2022 he was close, didn't get named. 2023 again, it was like, all right, injury replacements. Maybe Nimmo gets it. Nope, he didn't get it again. This year, same deal. Maybe this year finally. I know that Tatis is out. I know that Betts is out. Maybe one of those spots goes to Nimmo. I think Lindor will get the Betts replacement. I don't know for sure. If I'm talking American League, though, on the pitching side, I'm confused by Craig Kimbrell being left off. In addition to Andres Munoz and Kenley Jansen.
Hunter Gaddis.
And Hunter Gaddis is another guy. He's been fantastic for Cleveland. A lot of guys on Cleveland have been really good. You got to keep this in mind also is that Major League Baseball has, I think they used 6 votes this year. And, I know that previously Pete Alonso had said he would not do the home run derby if he's not an all-star. He did that in 2021, but he said going forward, he would not do that. Now we have so many guys who have turned down the home run derby this year that they probably wanted Pete Alonso to be in the derby. And here we are. So many people have turned it down. They need Alonso to do it. They need to make him an all-star. I'm not going to say Pete Alonso deserved being an all-star over Christian Walker because, trust me, Christian Walker's numbers are much better. And also, to your point, Splash, this is why Jose Miranda is not an all-star. Just by getting 12 straight hits, raising his batting average over 330, Jose Miranda is not an all-star.
That is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. 12 straight hits in this economy? What?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm voting Jose Miranda for president, by the way.
By the way, I really do want Kimbrell to make it just because it would be his 10th All-Star game, which how many relief pitchers can say that?
That's true.
I mean, it's literally like Mariano Rivera and maybe – I don't even know if Dennis Eckersley made 10.
Give me a moment and I will look that up. Continue.
I feel
so by the way, I'd like to shout out both Kimbrell and Kenley Jansen. They've both leapfrogged Francisco Rodriguez in the all-time saves list this week. So
Kimbrell would be the second reliever. Rivera 13, Gossage 9, Wilhelm 8, Hoffman, Wagner, Smith, Fingers, Chapman 7, Eckersley, Nathan, Papelbon, K-Rod, Suter, Face 6.
Yeah, so that's what I mean is like, Kimbrell, by the way, and like every Oriole fan wanted him DFA'd, I swear, at one point. But here we are. He has a 2.10 ERA, 23 saves, 52 strikeouts in 34 1/3 innings. He's having like his best year since his Boston years, I would say, or maybe 2021 his numbers got tarnished by his stint with the White Sox. Yeah, no, he was unbelievable that year. But like
that still feels like a fever dream when he was with the Cubs.
This is him as a 36-year-old. Like he's been unbelievable this year.
How much longer does Kimbrell go, do you guys think? If he's playing this is a 36, he may play to 40.
I mean, I don't see him going to 40, but I want to see what his save number is at the end of the year. He's at 440
right now.
And Jansen is, I believe, at 438. I could see both these guys maybe trying to stick around for 500.
That's what I was about to say.
But the thing is, the thing with the relief pitchers is their bodies can break down pretty quickly. I mean, look, after last year, Kimbrell really struggled in the postseason, and I was wondering, like, is this it? Like, is he going to retire? And then, again, early this year, he was struggling, and it's like, is Kimbrell about to retire again? But here we are. He's had a resurgence. I hope he gets his justice. I know that MLB used one of their selections on Clay Holmes. Holmes is a fine pitcher. Even my friends who are Yankee fans are kind of confused by this selection. And just like I'm confused by Alonso making it.
Well, like you said earlier when it came to the Derby, like they had to make him an all-star. And like, to be fair, it's not as big of a reach as some people could be. But like for him to make it, it's 100% because of the Derby. And like, I understand the whole stuff about like not wanting to be in the Derby and all that, but I mean, great business move, I guess, by Alonso. I guess
I mean, I
artificially
guess
increased
great.
his All-Star selections here purely to be in the Derby, to do something he already loves doing.
Yeah, and I guess good business move by Major League Baseball by
Yeah,
letting
agreed.
him
It
do
works.
this, because I know
It's
that
a win for
you know
everybody.
he cares a lot about it and he wants to give back to the community. So I get it, and that's
I just
part
hate
of
the
it.
people that say that he shouldn't be taken as seriously because it's the Derby. Bro, he loves doing it and he puts on moonshots. People love watching moonshots. It's
Yeah,
not like he's taking money from people to just like even the money didn't he like donate the money he won
yeah, he
from this to
donates the money.
charity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How does it make you feel that in a couple days, Pete Alonso will have as many All-Star appearances as Jeff Bagwell?
wait, how's that possible?
That's
Jeff Bagwell
incredible.
only made 4 All-Star games.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I mean,
Rafael Palmeiro, 4 All-Star
yeah,
games.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Mike Sweeney made 5.
Mike Sweeney
Anthony
made 5.
Rizzo,
Mariner
That's
legend
right.
Mike Sweeney.
another famous New York first baseman, 3. Jose
Who, Keith
Abreu,
Hernandez?
3.
Jose Abreu 3. Yeah, I know that Salvador Perez made his 9th this year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The
Also,
only Royal
Vladdy will
with
be making
more.
his 4th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has
Yeah.
played 4 full seasons.
And he's
He has
made
as many
the
Yeah, it
All-Star
is
All-Star
weird
games
game.
to
as
think
Jeff
about.
Bagwell, and more than Robin Yount.
I know the with Perez, the only Royal with more All-Star appearances is George Brett.
I was
Yeah.
about to say it has to be Brad, right?
Crazy. I mean, look, Whit Merrifield made 3, and I'm not saying Whit Merrifield's like a bad player, but you don't think of him like immediately like, oh yeah, 3-time All-Star for sure.
I don't know how he
But
made it last year, with all due respect.
Yeah.
again, it was an MLB selection. I'm pretty sure. I know that he had like an Iron Man streak going. I mean, I'm pretty sure Marcus Semien made it as an MLB selection too. I mean, Marcus Semien is a fine player, but this year has not been a good year for him. I really think Jordan Westberg should have made it over him. I mean, that's a guy with like a 140 OPS plus. But
Also, shout out Joey
yeah.
Ortiz.
Yeah, Joey Ortiz, I know just got hurt, but yeah. Anyways, I'm sure that, like Splash said, this will become outdated soon because there are going to be injury replacements on both sides of the ball. So hopefully we see some wrongs that are righted. And I'm looking forward to next week's festivities. Love the Home Run Derby, love the Futures game, and the All-Star game itself. So, anyways, it's time for Alex to talk to us about his Boulder Collegians. It's not just a Boulder; it's the Boulder Collegians. So, Alex, take it away.
Thank you so much for getting the name right on this one. Well, on this one, I feel kind of tired. I don't know if I want to talk right now about it. Instead, I have a video for you guys because after the last 2 games set against the Denver Generals, I got to sit down with third base coach, Coach Brendan Wakefield, and he is a fun interview, really great guy to talk with. I sat down with him for about 15 minutes and just talked about state of the team, talked about what it's like to coach in this kind of league, which again is a short season summer wood bat college league, and the kind of struggles that go along with it, and how the team itself has been really congealing together. So with that being said, I'm going to play the video. All right, here. So 4 losses above replacement here. I am joined here by one of the coaches of the Boulder Collegians, Coach Wake. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, sure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the team. We've been talking about the team every week here, and it's been a lot of high offense, a lot of good pitching here. Let's start out with the offensive side of things here. We've had the offense has really spiked over the last week or so at this point, where you've been getting more extra base hits. You've been getting more home runs here. Has the offensive plan for them, I've been at these practices a little bit. I've been able to talk with you guys a bit, saying that you guys are just the whole focus has been trying to drive the ball here. Are you starting to see those results come to action?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, more extra base hits, more home runs. I think that, you can credit that to guys just getting the timing down. I don't know, spring season, some of these guys didn't get a ton of at-bats, but now we're, a majority into the season and starting to get their timing, and I think you're seeing the results of that,
Yeah, definitely. And right now, we're seeing guys that are really starting to emerge on this team. Guys like Brett Williams, guys like Diego Castellanos, guys like Steven Lukasevich here. Who has been so far for you the biggest surprise this season, or you're most impressed with their growth?
Yeah, Brett Williams, he's really hot right now, and I thought, that was probably just a matter of time. It's tough not knowing these guys. A lot of these guys don't know him, so it's hard to say on surprises, but Sobey's another guy, kind of holds down the offense. Yeah, him, Williams, like you said, Diego, kind of the tone setter there. So he kind of starts us out, and he gets on base a ton, and he's got a little extra pop, doubles homer guy, but he gets on and he runs, and that's a big part of our game. We really like to run and be aggressive at the plate, aggressive on the bases.
Let's talk a little bit, then I'll continue on the offense, like you were saying with this, about all these guys. You have multiple players now with an OPS of over 1,000, which in the major league level, that's MVP levels of stuff. And you have multiple. How much fun is it for you as a coach to be able to know that this offense is going to come through for you most of the time?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. And it's not like one guy's out there hitting 10 bombs. I mean, we're pretty 1 through 9. You feel like, a lot of these guys have the capabilities to hit one out. So it's always on the table. Like, hey, we could lose a ball here. And it's just fun to play that style,
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit. It's still on the offense here, but shifting from power to speed. But while you said that everyone from top to bottom of the lineup can be trusted to hit, we could also see that from top to bottom, everyone is good at running. Everyone is good at taking the extra base whenever they get the opportunity, stealing a few bases here, even with a few players that are out right now, like Chase Hildy, River Jackson, that were some of the main stolen base leaders on the team. You're still getting stolen base after stolen base here. Tell me a little bit about how that affects your game plan as a coach.
Yeah, we're just we always want to be aggressive. We're always looking to take the extra 90 feet, One of our best base runners, actually, believe it or not, is a pitcher. TJ Newman, man, he actually holds the 5A state record for most stolen bases, and he's fast as heck. So when he gets on, he's just an ultra aggressive guy, and that's a style we want to play. We're big, like we'll read dirt balls. We're always looking to go first to third. We'll steal. I think I told you last time, like, I got one answer to every question, and it's always yes. And we take that mentality, and we're just aggressive on the bases, and, it's been paying off, and it fits the style of player we have. A lot of these guys are good plus runners, and it's just an exciting way to play.
I love that you brought up TJ Newman. He is one of the most interesting players on this team. The fact that he is such a dominant pitcher as well, but also every time you need a courtesy runner, the number one guy comes out is number one in TJ Newman. Talk about how that versatility has really helped the team and how that helps you as a coach plan for any sort of game.
Yeah, we kind of knew. I coach high school here in Colorado, so I've coached against him, kind of knew what he could do. And I think we were like 2 games in, and we kind of landed he would be our courtesy runner anytime we need one. And it just gives you that extra, just having that on the bench. Like he's a spark at any time. A guy gets on and he comes in, and we really feel that helps the hitters at the plate when he gets on the bases, because they're going to pay attention to him, and he's kind of always moving around, and then they'll leave a mistake out over the dish, and that's a good thing for our hitters,
I love watching how aggressive he is on the base pass. He's always jumping around, dancing around, trying to always make sure, as I like to say on the broadcasts here, take up rent within the pitcher's head.
That's right.
At this point, let's talk a little bit you as a coach now at this. So right now, one of the hardest things about coaching in this league is the fact that these players don't know each other as much. Maybe some of them do here, but as a team, this is very put together at this. Talk to me about your job as a coach with working these guys to get that camaraderie up, to make the lineup here after not knowing exactly who's going to be on the team.
Sure. Yeah, I'd give the credit to the players. They bonded together really quick, and I know they get together on the off days. They golf, they play poker. That has nothing to do with us. That's kind of cool to see that. Like you said, it kind of happened quick. I mean, we got them on June 1st, and we're six weeks into this thing, and it's a close knit bunch, so that's kind of exciting to see. But again, I wouldn't say that's anything we've done particularly. That's just kind of those guys, and it's kind of fun to see. Baseball's a brotherhood and a fraternity, and I think we've all bonded over that, and good group of guys, couldn't ask for anything else.
I could not agree more. These guys have been so much fun to work with over the 6 weeks. Has there been one player or any number of players here that have been kind of like spark plugs to kind of get that camaraderie going, or players that just get the locker room going, get the dugout going?
Yeah, a couple guys. I mean, Hunter's a good example there. I know he's kind of veteran in the clubhouse per se, and yeah, he's kind of a spark plug. I don't know. Like, again, that's not really on the coaching staff organizing, so I'm not sure who organizes when they do go golfing and the poker. But I see, sometimes Hunter in the dugout, just being the older, kind of the veteran guy. He definitely has a presence there.
Let's move into the pitching side of things now.
Yeah.
And you've had some amazing starting pitching that has done a lot of great work here. We mentioned TJ Newman. We've talked about Nick Willems, who came in long relief in the game here recently against the Denver Generals. Here, talk to me a little bit about how the strong starting pitching has helped you guys with your game planning.
Yeah, that's been our strong suit, no doubt. Our starting pitch, our ERA as a team was 1.8. I know the Generals series, it's probably a little higher after that. But that was certainly our strong suit. We were kind of riding, strong pitching and strong defense. Those were kind of our calling cards. And that's where it starts. I mean, good starting pitching, back end bullpen. If you're a good team, you have that stuff, that's not just here. That's anywhere you go. That's kind of the key to this whole deal.
Definitely. And not only good starting pitching, you've had good relief pitching, starting pitchers that can come in relief. Here are a lot of relief pitchers that have also started. Right. Here, you have a very versatile pitching staff here. Tell me a little bit about how you mix and match these guys. Do you work on the matchups here? Do you just say like, all right, hey, we have these guys available. Let's see how we can mix and match almost like a Tetris puzzle.
Yeah, it's more the Tetris puzzle. It's not like a spring season where you have your Friday night starter per se. A lot of it's not necessarily matchups. Maybe some of the bullpen will go more matchups. Like if they got lefties, we might bring a couple lefties stacked. We might go to a lefty, but just kind of be ready when your name's called. We try to give them like starting pitching a little bit of a rotation, but still, again, we don't have that Friday night. It's not a set rotation like that. A lot of it's just when's the arm bouncing back and who's available. And again, just when your name's called, you got to be ready, and I know that's tough for these guys, but I think they've done a great job.
They have done a great job in my opinion as well. And like, honestly, the fact that you don't have like this everyday starter really gives honestly a feel that every pitcher can go out and dominate on any given day. And that's what it's felt like over the course of the season here, where you've had a ton of shutouts here, a number of mercy wins as well. Does your guys' mentality ever change depending on if you guys are blowing out a game or if you see a pitcher that is absolutely dominating here? Like I remember there was the game against the Really Grays where you had Nick Willems as a starting pitcher. He threw an immaculate inning that day, which was amazing, but he went the full distance at that point. Was that the plan for him or just evaluating as he goes on through the game?
Yeah, just kind of evaluating, and he was just on that day, so I think we wrote him out. But yeah, it's just, take it day by day and kind of how a guy's going, I think that just, comes at you. We try to plan ahead, but you're always thinking on your feet. And, it's like you said, the guys are versatile. I mean, they might be asked to start, and then next week they might be coming in relief out of the pen. And again, I think they're doing a good job handling that and just being, again, ready when their name's called,
Definitely. And speaking of versatility, it's not just the pitchers. The hitters have been, and the fielders have been very versatile as well. We've seen a number of different people at all these different positions here. How much fun is it for you as a coach to be able to say, okay, well, we don't have this guy today. Let's just put our regular first baseman out in right field or be able to do any of that kind of stuff, just knowing that these guys can play almost anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that's fun. It's nerve-wracking at some point.
I understand.
We're like Team IR right now. We have so many guys down. It is good having that versatility, but we certainly, guys are playing in just spots they're probably not used to, but they're not, they're doing what's asked out of them. They're not giving us any hard time about any of that. Like you said, Derek Wilwine out in right field today, and they're just doing anything they can do to help the team, and that's all we can ask. But man, we're looking forward to getting some of these guys back off the IR and finishing strong.
I'm very looking forward to getting some of these guys back here as well. But you got to hand it down to these guys for really kind of putting in different efforts here to go and play in these different positions that they're not used to. I've been giving them as much praise as I can on the broadcasts on this. So
one thing on that, I don't want to, sorry to interrupt, but I think like Isaac Sobey, he's a great example. Yeah. He was asked to pitch in a game last week, and it's good because we kind of saw something like, man, you might have a future here. He was 90-91, and we knew he had a strong arm at third base, but that's kind of the good thing about summer ball. Kind of you see that stuff, and who knows, man, he could have a real future there.
I'm really glad you brought up Sobe because that's what I was going to talk about next here. Sobieschek has been one of the most interesting and fun players to watch this season because of how strong of an arm he has at third base, and then getting to see him pitch. And I have the notes here from that game. And Sobieschek coming in and striking out the side in his first pitching appearance of the season.
Right.
You're throwing 90-91 with, I think he threw one slider in there, but mostly fastballs. Here, it's been fun to watch how the players have been working through everything, and especially Sobieschek. Tell me what you saw about him and how he's translated that from third base to that one pitcher appearance and how he may use that going forward.
Yeah, we had talked to him a little bit. He pitched in high school. He had some arm injuries. I think if he didn't, he probably would have had a more significant role in high school. Who knows how that would have played. But we knew, again, like you see the arm play at third, and we kind of always talked like, hey, that might look okay on the mound. And don't get it wrong. I mean, the kid, he can really swing it too, So just that'll be a benefit to add to his game. And if Elvis Dominguez sees this, I think that guy can help you on the mound, man.
We'll make sure we get it to the right people at that point. But, you're talking about swinging it. He's also has that OPS of over 1,000. One player I want to talk about last kind of thing here is Alec Martinez, one of the players that has been regularly used, offensive and defense here. For you guys here, how do you plan around a guy that is a two-way player first and foremost?
Yeah, he just speaks to the versatility, but he's just hard-nosed, gritty guy. I don't think he gets much credit for what he does on the base pass sometimes. I know at Metro State they preach that. He's got that vault mastered, and he's kind of the jack of all trades. Outfield, he can play some first base. He gets on the mound. When he's going good, he really can swing it. And again, don't write him off on the base pass. Not an exact speedster, but he'll get the jumps and really good reads, and he knows what he's doing out there. His baseball IQ, pretty good right there.
100%. It's always fun watching these guys. They have been working so hard over the course of the season. Not a whole lot left here. Is there any other last things you want to say on the team? Because these guys have been putting in their heart and souls into this and have been playing hard-nosed baseball the entire season here. Anything you want to say about the team just in general?
No, it's just been a blast, man. It's been a blast with these guys and coaching with Tony Rucco and Kent Gregory and, meeting guys like you. It's been a great summer, and it's been fun to be a part of the Collegians, and we want to finish this year strong and have a good run at NBC. That's our goal, man.
Definitely. And this is not even at the end of the season, it's not the end of the season for the Collegians. They will be playing in the NBC World Series in Wichita, Kansas, and hopefully I'll be making the trip with you guys. But yes, I can't help but echo the statement that you said a second ago. It's been an amazing summer, and I've gotten to work with some amazing people like you, Coach Wake. Thank you so much for your time coming on today.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
All right, that was Coach Brandon Wake of Brandon Wakefield, I should say, but Coach Wake, I just call you at this point here, of the Collegians here. We're now back here on Losses Above Replacement. So, that was my interview with Coach Wake. It has been a really fun time getting to work with him. And like I said, there have been some amazing ball players that have been making some big waves. Your next games here for the Collegians podcast should be out by the time before the next game happens here. It's tomorrow against the Greeley Grays at home at Scott Carpenter Park. It is going to be a fun time. And then they have two games on the road here, another doubleheader, then one more at home, and then one last road series before the season.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's great to hear that you're having such a great experience over there. It seems like it's been a lot of fun. And it seems like you get to work with great people. Coach Wake seems awesome, by the way. I would definitely want to play for that too.
Coach Wake is so much fun. I really love whenever I get to work with him. He's a spark. He's a spark plug in of himself. He is always one of the first ones to say, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's always one of the last ones to leave. There, he's putting in the work and he's making sure everyone feels welcome.
And those are my favorite types of coaches, really, and my favorite types of teammates too. So that's really awesome. That was a great interview. He had a lot of good insights on the game, I think. So
Definitely, it's been a fun season getting work and seeing how the players have really started to grow out. Like we talk about baseball players growing as the season goes on. It is so impressive to see just how players will change in a shortened season like this.
Oh yeah.
But like again, the number one name that we talked about during the interview and this was Brett Williams, who at the start of the season was just kind of there. He's getting a couple hits here and there, and then just starts exploding, getting multiple hits every single game, including now has 2 walk-offs on the season, including a walk-off home run and a walk-off single. Here, his batting average now is well above 500. That's not OPS, that's not slugging, that's not on base percentage. Batting average is above 500. He has an OPS right now, but I think over 1,200 at the moment. So
that's pretty good.
He's cooking.
To see these players get
Yeah.
to really.
He's on his Jose Miranda path.
Truly is.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Alex, and we look forward to another week of Boulder Collegians talk next week.
Always.
But anyways, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, which is trivia, and this week it is me, and I alluded to this a couple weeks ago when I did one edition of our favorite All-Star trivia. We are going to do this again this week since the All-Star game is 1 week away. I warned you guys, so hopefully you guys studied for this one.
Nope.
For those of you who don't know, I have 9 players. We're going to do this Family Feud style, where Jeopardy style, where you buzz in as once you know the answer. So first one to buzz in will get to guess. 9 players. It is if the person who buzzes in first gets it wrong, the other player will get to steal. So yeah, 9 players. And then I do have a tiebreaker in the event that we do have a tie. So, and I'll be reading off these facts. These guys are all one-time All-Stars as done previously, and I'll be reading off some facts about them. And then once these guys know who it is, they'll buzz in. Yeah. All right. So who's ready to go?
Let's do this.
Me. Let's do it.
I'm ready to probably get cooked, but I'm ready to go on this.
All right. Well, let's start off with our first player. He made his only All-Star game appearance in 2015 for the Tampa Bay Rays. He was a first-round pick by the Reds in 2009, but was traded to San Diego for Matt Latos. He led the American League in saves with 41 in 2015, but he's best known for his Players Weekend jersey, which is pretty famous. Yep, Splash.
Is this our beloved Brad Boxberger?
Yes, it is Brad Boxberger.
Yeah,
I forgot to ask.
The Players Weekend, I'm like, yeah, it's gotta be Boxy.
I forgot to ask you guys for buzzer noises. So,
all right, yeah. I'm just gonna go dangers.
Okay, great. And then Splash, what's yours? Okay, great.
You gotta put some vocal with it, bud. You gotta put some muscle.
I already did it. I already buzzed in.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, you're good. Anyways, let's move on to the next player, going another American League guy. He made his only All-Star game in 2012 for the Texas Rangers. He was a 17th round pick by the Angels in 2000. He hit 30 homers and put up 5.5 wins above replacement by Baseball Reference, that is, in just 432 plate appearances in 2011, and also went 7 for 20 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs. Oh, Splash.
Is this Jeff Mathis's platoon partner, Mike Napoli?
Yes, it is Mike Napoli. So Splash takes the 2-0 lead. I was a big Mike Napoli fan. By the way, I believe he's the Cubs first base coach right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, 2-time. Actually, he does have a ring in 2013, but 2-time World Series loser too, because he lost with the 2016 Cleveland team.
Wow. Yeah,
he hit 34 homers that year in 2016.
And he didn't qualify for the batting title.
In 2011, he didn't.
Okay,
which is crazy.
Like a 170 OPS plus or something.
Yeah, he was insane, and 5.5 wins above replacement which is. Like in 100 games or so, that's insane. He was like the best catcher in baseball that year. I remember MLB Network did like top 10 right now catchers, and he was number 1 over Joe Mauer.
Wow,
insane.
Yeah. So, anyways, We're going to move on. This next guy made his only All-Star game appearance in 2022 for the Yankees. He was a 6th-round pick by the Rangers in 2014. That year in 2022, he was a gold and platinum glove winner. Defense first catch. Oh, wow. Splash is on a roll right now.
The next bit, I'm like, I know it.
This is Mike Piazza impersonator Jose Trevino.
Yes, it is Jose Trevino. So, wow, Splash is really on a roll right now.
I know I was going to get cooked on this one, but Splash is like, we're getting it about the same time as Splash gets one clue before I do.
It's about reaction time.
It's not reaction. He gets it one clue before me.
All right, well.
Hey, respect to you.
Let's move on to number 4. This guy made his only All-Star game appearance in 2009 for the Angels. He was a 4th-round pick by the Rockies in 1997 and led the American League in stolen bases in 2005 with 62. Stole at least 30 bases from 2004 to 2010. But in 2009, he led the AL in walks and was a top 10 MVP finisher with over 7 wins above replacement.
Dingers?
Yeah, go.
Is this Figgins?
Yes, it is Sean Figgins.
Yeah!
Just for you, Alex. I was going to say he signed a 4-year contract with the Mariners, but I stopped myself. But yes, 2009, Sean Figgins. He was a utility guy. So
I'm not getting shut out. That's all that matters.
All right, so Alex is on the board 3-1 now. Let's move on to our next guy.
Going with lead there, Splash.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. We have another active player. This guy made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2017 Mets as the team's only representative. 1st-round pick in 2014, came up in 2015 and hit 2 home runs in a World Series game. Career best 939 OPS in 2017, but dislocated his shoulder swinging a bat, which ultimately ended his season. All right, Splash.
Michael Conforto.
Yes, it is Michael Conforto. So you are up 4-1. You could, in theory, you could ice it right here. So let's move on. Hopefully you guys know this because this guy made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2008 Rockies. He's a 2nd-round pick in 1997. He pitched over 200 innings twice, but never struck out 100 batters. And he pitched 10 of his 11 seasons with the Rockies. His only non-Rockies season came for the Red Sox at the end of his career. Who is this guy? He's a pitcher. Yep, Splash.
Is that Josh Fogg?
It is not Josh Fogg. Alex, your chance to steal.
Is this Fuentes?
It is not Brian Fuentes.
Is it Kip Wells?
Fuentes is a reliever. No, it is not Kip Wells. I'll just give you guys the answer.
Jeff
It
Francis?
is Aaron Cook.
Okay. We got cooked there.
So no point there for either of you guys. So Alex, to tie this, you would have to get the next 3 guys each. So you got to be on your toes here. The next player made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2021 Rays. He was a 6th-round pick by Cleveland in 2012.
Dingers?
Alex, yeah, go.
Is that Zunino?
No, it is not Mike Zunino.
Oh, no, it's not Zunino. Oh, I'm a failure.
Thank you.
Splash, do you want to?
I would like the next clue.
All right. I don't think you get any more clues. You get one more clue, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll give you one more clue. He had 10.5 Baseball Reference Award in 4 seasons with the Rays.
We are going to go with Brandon Lau.
It is not Brandon Lau. Do you guys want the answer, or Alex? Do you want to try to steal this?
I've already answered.
What's the next clue?
What was the next clue? Yeah.
He most recently played in the majors for the Mets. But this past May, he kind of bounced around the NL East. He got released by the Braves at the end of May without playing a game for them. Like,
What?
The Mets DFA'd him, then he got released, then the Braves picked him up and then released him before he could play a game.
Oh my days.
So, like, for some reason I thought.
Do you have another clue?
Because did Zunino make the All-Star into the?
Yes, so Zunino did in 2021, but this guy's a utility guy, mainly a middle infielder. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my days! It's Joey Wendell.
Yes, it's Joey Wendell. I mean, so technically, Splash has won this, but
Splash has won, so that's right.
Do you guys want to finish these last two?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
All right. So this next guy made his only All-Star game in 2013 for the Giants. He debuted with the Mets in 2002 after they cleaned him off waivers. He was the 2012 NLCS MVP.
Marco Scudero.
Yeah, it's Marco Scudero. There. I was going to say he got the game-winning hit in Game 4 of the World Series that year. So, wow, Splash is on a roll right now.
Yeah,
he just
Splash
gave me a
really
thumbs
good at
down for some
stuff,
reason.
so.
Because the Giants beat the Tigers. I was rooting for
That's
the
right.
Tigers
They
in
did. They
series.
swept them.
Sad
Anyways, here's the last one. This guy is another active player. His only appearance came in 2015 for the Cardinals. He was a first-round pick in 2012, and a year later was NLCS MVP. He recently signed, or this past offseason, signed a 3-year contract with the Kansas City Royals. He's bounced around. He even played for the Mets a little bit.
Oh my God.
Won 17 games in 2015.
Michael Wacha.
Yes, it is Michael Wacha.
Nice.
So, Splash, that was a convincing victory today.
Yeah.
Wow, that was...
Yeah, he had like
there was
a fever dream, like 2013 Michael Wacha, like every outing, it was like no hitter watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%
until the World Series, that postseason, he was just like unstoppable.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was literally drafted the year before. He was 21 when he was doing that. And that's a crazy thing is I was looking up Michael Wacha for this bit right here, and I didn't realize he's only 32. It feels like he's been around for so long. Like he's younger than Seth Lugo by like a couple years, and Seth Lugo didn't come up until 2016.
In college when he started playing.
Are they what 3-time teammates now? Mets, Padres, and Royals.
Yeah, come to think of it, yeah, because he was on the 2020 Mets, and yeah, Lugo. So yeah, Mets, Padres, and Royals. Wow. That's kind of crazy. You know,
they're following each other.
I mean, to be fair, I tried to forget most of the 2020 Mets. I mean, I remember
I tried to forget most of 2020.
To be fair, a lot of the 2020 Mets were good. They just couldn't hit when it mattered.
I'm referring to the pitchers.
Oh, that's a fair point.
You know,
Smith was Dom Smith Silver Slugger that year?
Dom Smith is legendary.
I think so, but he was awesome that year. Michael Conforto was really good that year. I mean, I just remember that offseason, the Mets lost Zach Wheeler.
He was 13th in MVP voting. That's what it was.
Yeah, he was the only Met to get MVP votes that year. But I just remember the Mets lost Zach Wheeler that offseason. And then to replace him, they signed Porcello and Wacha, which, I mean, they are fine big league pitchers, obviously. But Zach Wheeler became a Cy Young contender immediately. And it has haunted me ever since. I always, you know, when people talk about the Brody Van Wagenen era in New York, that's at the forefront of my mind.
That tracks.
In my opinion, that was the biggest miss of his tenure as GM. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, congrats, Splash. That was a pretty impressive performance. Alex, we'll get it next time.
We'll see what I can do. I think
your great mistake was doing playoff MVPs.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys.
Was that a shot at the Mariners not making the playoffs?
No. It was just me knowing them pretty well.
I mean, honestly, it takes me a second to remember Marco Scudero was NLCS MVP. I know that in 2010, Cody Ross was. So,
yeah. Marlins legend.
Marlins, Dodgers, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Red Sox.
And then 2014, Mad Bum swept him.
Yeah, Mad Bum was unreal. Although, shout out to Travis Ishikawa, obviously.
Okay. Serious question.
Yeah.
would you rather have World Series Bumgarner or Bumgarner against the Braves? I don't see the difference. I don't see the
World
difference.
Series Mad
World
Bum, man.
Series,
This
just
is
because, yeah.
that 2014 World Series. I've never seen anyone do what he did. That
This
was
is true, but did
absolutely
he throw a
absurd.
7-inning no-hitter at Truist Park? I don't think
I
so.
mean, but he came in on what was it, 2 days rest
Yeah.
to get the
That's a
final
good
5
point.
innings.
That's a
Dude,
good point.
I
But
was
Salvador
absurd.
Perez is not as good as that was against a future World Series winning team, not against
know,
the World Series losers.
I
I'm kidding.
understand that, but it's just I'm honestly I still can't comprehend what Mad Bum did that postseason. I mean, he was great every postseason, but like
He has
you know,
2 wild card shutouts.
yeah, I know. I was on the
Sorry
losing
for
end of one of them,
bringing
and
up
it was
bad
like
memories, but 2 of them. No one
I know.
else has one, if memory serves.
Mhm.
Maybe
Correct.
Arrieta.
Jake
had.
On
Arrieta-
the
Jake
Marco
Arrieta.
Scudero
That's
thing, I
right.
do want to give a quick shout out to my boy Nolan. Big Giants guy that every time I see him, he always loves whenever I can give him Giants trivia. So shout out to my boy Nolan.
Shout out Elliot
Yeah.
Ramos, all-star.
Oh yeah. Also, Marco Scudero does have a walk-off home run against Mariano Rivera, which is
So does
absurd to think.
So does Ichiro, yeah. I was about
So
to
does
say.
Ichiro. I remember Scudero hit it at the Oakland Coliseum off the left field foul pole.
That's
It
impressive.
used to come up on my YouTube feed a lot. But anyways, we've reached our final segment of every show, which is the moment to ourselves, 60 seconds or so to talk about whatever the heck is on your mind. Doesn't have to be baseball or sports. So, gentlemen, who here wants to go first? Splash, I saw your hand go up first, so your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
I regret to inform all of you that the Phillies are in fact frauds. Christopher Sanchez is a fraud. Ranger Suarez is a fraud. Imagine losing 4 games out of 6 to the 2024 Atlanta Braves, including a Spencer Strider start, a Max Fried start, not that one, the other one, and a start by Spencer Schwellenbach. I do want to talk about Spencer Schwellenbach, though. I know the ERA is inflated, but I like him a lot. Compared to especially Waldrop and AJ Smith-Shawver and the other host of young pitchers the Braves have. I like what Schwellenbach brings as sort of a hybrid between what Strider brings with the velocity and what Fried brings with lots of different pitches in the command. So he can throw 97. That's great. He can throw 5-6 different pitches. That's great. And I think that gives him a lot of upside compared to AJ Smith-Shawver, who is more of like a pumps 98, 99 in theory, and more than a Hurston Waldrop, who sits 95, 96, has the devastating splitter, which might be the best pitch in the Braves system, including like Charlie Morton's curveball. But he has some flaws. AJ Smith-Shawver has some flaws, but I've been really impressed with Spencer Schwellenbach. So go Braves.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, I actually recently got Schwellenbach in a fantasy trade in Dynasty. It's a Dynasty league. I sold high on Jaron Duran and Mitch Keller, and was able to get Kobe.
All-star Duran, by the way.
Well, I was able to get Kobe Mayo and Schwellenbach and Brian De La Cruz in return. So I was kind of, I wasn't. I remember when someone asked, or when my friend asked me about Duran, because my team is not good this year. I was like, all right. Are you willing to part with Kobe Mayo? Just like, I'm fully expecting him to say no. And then he's like, well, actually. So,
now, the question is, where will Kobe Mayo be playing when he's on your team and contributing to your team? Will it be an Oriole or will it be elsewhere?
I don't know. That's the thing. Anyways, I'm sure we'll talk about this again soon. We have the trade deadline a few weeks away. Anyways, Alex, do you want to go? Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
Your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
I am not sure why people are so angry about. I've seen a lot of discourse about this, about the Dodgers having VTubers doing stuff for like with the stadium. They're doing the baseball cards and the video board doing the take me out to the ball game. I don't know why there's a problem with this. I am a huge fan of trying to advocate outside of baseball to try to bring in more baseball fans. And if you can get more people at least interested in the sport in some way, shape, or form, look at how much it's helped the NFL. Yes, a lot of the main fans hate Taylor Swift, and I understand this. I completely get it. You cannot deny how many more viewers it brought in to the National Football League, especially Chiefs games, for just the chance at being able to see Taylor Swift. They're doing the same thing here with VTubing, which has become such a huge medium over the last few years. Here, at this point right now, it's fine. Just let it happen. If you don't like it, ignore it. But just, like, I'm a fan of it just because it's something different and finally bringing in more people to at least get the eyes on baseball.
Well, the thing is that people get mad about anything these days, unfortunately.
I'm aware. I know.
So
I am gonna have to downvote Taylor Swift. The Chiefs caused me great trauma, so we're going to have to downvote.
Yeah, but the Chiefs cause you trauma because the Ravens are bad, so it's fine.
No, they got robbed.
Sure they did.
Yeah, okay, listen. If Travis Kelce wasn't dating Taylor Swift, he would have gotten flagged at least one time for his tomfoolery on the football field. But the Ravens looked the wrong way. Flagged. Roquan Smith is a genius and blows up the play, so you force them to have they don't burn another play, and it's a 15-yard penalty. Well, Travis Kelce is like spiraling balls right in. Okay, you know what? This is not a football podcast.
This is not a football podcast.
I'm out.
Let's talk about YouTubing instead.
Anyways, can one of you
I'll
count me down?
I got you, man.
All right,
Mac, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the state of the Mets because they obviously went on their magical run thanks to Grimace and thanks to Jose Iglesias' music. Shout out Candelita and OMG. Really, they're really kind of in a weird spot because they are one game under 500 as of this reporting, and they're, I think, 3 games back of a wild card. I think really if they had any form of a bullpen, they would probably be 5 to 10 games over 500. So I think if I'm David Stearns, I'm going out and doing anything I can to get a reliever. That being said, and by anything I can, I mean, don't trade a top prospect for a reliever, but please get some arms. This team will contend if they have guys who can pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Edwin Diaz has been better lately. Great. Reed Garrett has kind of tired out. Dedniel Nunez is going to get overused if you're not careful. I mean, Christian Scott was on a pitch count today, so the bullpen lost it again. It's just we see too many winnable games that have slipped away because the bullpen has just not done their job. So if you fall too far out of it, you sell. And I trust David Stearns to do what he has to do to get this team back to contention in 2025. But if we're focusing on the present, I hope they go get some relievers. And really, I expect more out of this team. I don't think they're as bad as they were in May. Maybe they're not an 108-win team like they were playing in June, but I'm excited to see what David Stearns has in store for us.
Yeah, no, that tracks. So that close to a wild card spot, especially with how bad the team was at the very beginning, is incredible.
Yeah, and I know people are like dunking on Carlos Mendoza for his bullpen management, but really he doesn't have a lot of options. That's the issue. It's basically you pray you get the ball to Edwin Diaz and you hope you get a good version of Diaz because I like Reed Garrett a lot, but his splitter is either like unhittable or he throws it into the other batter's box. He misses really badly arm side, and I mean he got a lot of help from Johnson Payne on Saturday afternoon. It was pretty funny watching Derek Shelton lose his mind because it was an awful 3-1 call on a pitch that was low and out of the zone. So I hope that the Mets gave him like a steak dinner afterwards or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was kind of egregious. But anyways, we have reached the end of today's show. The All-Star game is 1 week away. And like I said, about 2 weeks later, we have the trade deadline on July 30th. So I'm sure you'll be seeing plenty of us on the internet. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Drop us a 5-star review. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at LAR_baseball. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter. Follow myself at Mathias_A_K. Follow Splash at Mr. Splashman19. Follow Alex at the Sports Guy 242. We'll be seeing plenty of tweets from all of us, especially on that mean losses above replacement account. So for everyone at LAR, thank you for listening. Stay safe and hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.